Hello students, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Your English Teacher. So we are going to now present the line-wise explanation of The Summer of a Beautiful White Horse. This is the remaining portion that has yet to be explained. In the earlier videos, I have given a line-wise explanation of the first part of this chapter, The Summer of a Beautiful White Horse, which is the first chapter of 11th Standard Textbook Snapshots. So let's start from where we left. So over here, till now, what has happened in the story, we understand that Aram and Murad have been able to fulfill their dream of riding a white horse. And Murad is the one in control, as he is the elder of the two cousins, and he is trying to tell Aram over here that this is what you have to say if somebody asks, since when have you been in possession of this horse? And he says that you will say that it is not until this morning that I have been in possession of this horse. Somehow Aram gets a feeling that he's not telling the truth. Of course he says, I'm not telling the truth, but if we are to be found, that is what you're going to say. I don't want both of us to be liars. All you know is that we started riding this morning. So he's being very, very particular about what one should answer in case get caught. All right, I said. Understand, Aram is just a 9-year-old kid, and he wants to ride that horse so badly that he would not give it up for anything. He walked the horse quietly to the barn of the deserted vineyard, which at one time had been the pride of a farmer named Fitzwagen. There were some oats and dry alfalfa in the barn. We began walking home. It wasn't easy, he said, to get the horse to behave so nicely. At first, it wanted to run wild. But as I've told you, I have a way with the horse. Again, he's patronizing. I can get it to do anything I want it to do. Horses understand me. How do you do it? Aram is really inquisitive. I have an understanding with the horse, said Murad. Yes, but what sort of an understanding? Asked Aram. A simple and an honest one. Well, I said, I wish I knew how to reach an understanding with a horse like that. You're still a small boy, he said. When you get to be 13, you'll get to know how to do it. I went home and ate a hearty breakfast. That afternoon, my Uncle Khosrow came to our house for coffee and cigarettes. He sat in the parlor, sipping and smoking and remembering the old country. Then another visitor arrived, a farmer named John Biro, an Assyrian, who out of loneliness had learned how to speak Armenian. My mother brought the lonely visitor coffee and tobacco, and he rolled a cigarette and sipped and smoked, and then at last, sighing sadly, he said, My white horse, which was stolen last month, is still gone. I cannot understand it. My Uncle Khosrow became very irritated and shouted, It's no harm. What's the loss of a horse? Haven't we all lost our homeland? What is the crying over the horse? That may be all right for you, a city dweller, to say, John Biro said, but what about my surrey? Surrey refers to a carriage, a horse carriage. What good is a horse carriage, a surrey without a horse? Pay no attention to it, my Uncle Khosrow roared. I walked 10 miles to get here, John Biro said. You have legs, my Uncle Khosrow roared. My left leg pains me, the farmer said. Pay no attention to it, my Uncle Khosrow roared. That horse cost me $60, the farmer said. I spit on money, my Uncle Khosrow said. He got up and stalked out of the house, slamming the screen door. My mother explained, He's a gentle heart, he said. It is simply that he is homesick and such a large man. The farmer went away, and I ran over to my cousin Murad's home. This he refers to Khosrow. And why does he say he's homesick? If you remember, I told you about the Armenians and the Assyrians, how they had to leave their country and they were living as refugees on the outskirts. So that's why even Khosrow is a bit irritated, because they have lost their homeland. So the mother tries to cover up for that. Now when we look at the previous page over here, children, this here describes how he is so Who? Khosrow. Khosrow is actually does have a crazy streak, and he is not that well behaved. He's somehow a bit crazy in his mind, and Aram says that his family believes that Murad has taken qualities from Khosrow rather than taking it from his own father. Coming to this page again. Now, when we realize that John Byrow had actually lost his horse for 1 month, we can put 1 and 1 together, and so does Aram, and he realizes that the white horse that that is Murad and Aram have in possession actually belongs to John Byrow. And therefore, he ran over to his cousin Murad's house. He was sitting under a peach tree trying to repair the hurt wing of a young robin which could not fly. He was talking to the bird. This shows that he was compassionate towards animals. Who? Murad. What is it? He said. The farmer John Byrow, I said. He visited our house. He wants his horse. You've had it a month. I want you to promise me not to take it back until I learn to ride. Now see, if you expect as a reader, I would have expected Aram to say go and give it back. But he is much more worried that it's already been a month and there's a possibility that Murad might want to give it back. But what does he say? He's a child. I want you always, in the beginning also I told you that you have to remember this whole chapter talks about innocence. And I want you to promise not to take it back until I learn to ride. It will take you a year to ride, my cousin said. We could keep the horse a year, I said. My cousin leaped to his feet. What? Are you inviting a member of the Garoglanian family to steal? The horse must go back to its true owner. Now, if you listen to this, it seems as if he's going to go and return it right now. And then Aram says, when do you intend to return it? He says, in 6 months at least. Now, this doesn't make sense. But it does make sense when you look at the whole story from a child's point of view, that he too wants to still ride the horse. From this dialogue, it seems he's going to return it immediately back. But now he says, I'll not return it, not for 1 year, but within 6 months. That is hardly any difference. He threw the bird into the air. The bird tried hard, almost fell twice, but at last it flew away high and straight. So Murad is very compassionate towards birds, and he manages to repair its wing. Early every morning for 2 weeks, my cousin Murad and I took the horse out of the barn of the deserted vineyard, where we were hiding it, and rode it, and every morning the horse, when it was my turn to ride alone, leaped over the grapevines and the small trees and threw me and ran away. Nevertheless, I hoped in time to learn to ride the horse the way my cousin Murad rode it. One morning on the way to Fetwagian's deserted vineyard, we ran into the farmer John Byrow, who was on his way to town. Let me do the talking, my cousin Murad said. I have a way with the farmers. Good morning, John Byrow, my cousin Murad said to the farmer. Now he again takes charge. Again, Murad is patronizing, and he informs Aram that he can handle the situation. He has a way not only with dogs and sparrows and horses, he has a way even with farmers. So he very confidently says good morning, and the farmer studied the horse very eagerly, because this is that same farmer who had lost his horse. Good morning, son of my friends, he said. What is the name of your horse? My Heart, my cousin said in Armenian. Again, this means that he is very compassionate towards animals, that he gives this horse a name, My Heart. A lovely name, John Byrow said. What a lovely horse. I could swear it is the horse that was stolen from me many weeks ago. May I look into his mouth? Of course, Murad said. He was confident. The farmer looked into the mouth of the horse, literally. Tooth for tooth, he said. I could swear it is my horse. If I didn't know your parents, the fame of your family for honesty is well known to me. Yet the horse is the twin of my horse. A suspicious man would believe his eyes instead of his heart. Good day, my young friends. So this particular paragraph is very important, as over here you can see John Byrow has been able to prick the conscience of these children. He says that the horse is exactly a twin of mine, but he doesn't say that it is exactly his horse. But he says that it would have been his horse had he not known that they belonged to his friends that belong to the Garruglanian family. And the Garruglanian family, as you know, is known for poverty, but above that, honesty and truth. Good day, John Byro, my cousin Murad said. Early in the morning, we took the horse to John Byro's vineyard. So overnight, their conscience had been pricked and put it in the barn. The dogs followed us around without making a sound. The dogs, I whispered to my cousin Murad, I thought they would bark. They would at somebody else, but I have a way with dogs. That's why earlier in the chapter I said that he had a way with dogs, but that reference actually comes here. My cousin Murad put his arms around the horse, pressed his nose into the horse's nose, patted it and then went away. That afternoon, John Byro came to our house in a surrey because now he could use his horse carriage, and showed my mother the horse had been stolen and returned. I do not know what to think, he said. The horse is stronger than ever, better tempered too. I thank God. My uncle Khosrow, who was in the parlour, became irritated and shouted, Quiet, man, quiet! Your house has been returned. Your horse has been returned. Pay no attention to it. Now, if you look at this, it seems as if again Khosrow has shown that crazy streak of his. So let us go to these questions over here. Who was the real owner of the beautiful white horse, and how did Aram come to know about him? John Byro was the real owner of the horse. He was the farmer. On the visit to Aram's house, he complained of his loss to Uncle Khosrow. This assured Aram that the horse had actually been stolen by Murad. Okay. The next question asks, why did Aram rush to his cousin's house soon after Byro was gone? Because John Byro visited Aram's house. He reported that his horse was stolen and untraceable. Uncle Khosrow shouted and asked him to calm down. But Aram overheard this conversation and then he ran to Murad's house to tell him about it. He asked Murad that would he keep the horse, and if he does, he must keep it at least for 1 year so that he can learn about it. Let us go to these questions here. How did Murad put John Byro off when the two met one morning? One morning, the two cousins ran into the farmer and John Byro, who examined the horse very thoroughly. But Murad confidently told Byro that his horse's name was My Heart, and Byro made no fuss because he knew that these children belonged to a family of the Garruglanian tribe, and that tribe was known for its honesty despite being poor. What change did John Byro notice in his horse after it was returned to him? John Byro was not only happy but also surprised that when he got his missing horse back, it had become stronger and was better tempered than before. He thanked God for that change. So I hope, children, you'll be able to understand these questions and maybe relate to them once again when you go through these videos. And this reading with insight, you will probably agree that the story does not have breathless adventure and exciting. These are things you have to look at on your own. There are certain details and certain aspects that are going to be discussed in short answer question series and long answer question series, which I'll be taking up in the next portion. So do try to visit the channel and we'll do that in detail. Thank you. Bye-bye.